Welcome back to our Swans Walk. In a weekend of football where Jerry Yates scores for Derby County, we're asking the question, who's going to score for Swansea? Okay, we're here to review the Blackburn defeat. We've got our team assembled to pick over it. First of all, though, James, there was some happy news for you, wasn't there, over the international break with a departure in the boardroom?
Oh, I am over the moon. The amount of money that man has practically set on fire. He should have been shown the door a long time ago. The fact that he's gone is a step in the right direction. The only question I've got is, how did he manage to cling on to his job for so long? Paul Watson should never be another director of football at any football club. Failed miserably at Hartlepool and failed miserably at a good riddance.
Do we know the backstory as to why? Was he pushed or jumped? Do we know?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of speculation at the moment, but an awful window last year, followed up by, again, not addressing everything in the January, and then followed by another window where we seemingly come out with crucial parts of the puzzle missing again. And the amount of money he's actually spent, surely, it's reflected badly on him.
Okay. Welcome back all. Hope you had a good international break. We'll get your views on where Swansea are at the minute, but you are one of the lowest scorers here, Rich. This isn't good. Another away game, another nil in that Swansea away column. What are your views on the game itself?
Well, it's just no cutting edge, is it? It's just complete shambles up front. There's no commitment at all. There's intent from some of the players going forward. Like Josh Key had a really good game on the right hand side. He tried to put a few good balls in the box, but there was no one going for it. It was you see the ball flying across the face of goal, no striker. Where is he? I don't know. Making his team, making a half-time cuppa.
Hugh, you've commented on this week by week now that there is no cutting edge. I'll ask you how you solve it. Any ideas?
Honestly, I don't know. Maybe try something different. Try two up top, see if that inspires them. Other than that, we need to go to the transfer market, but that's not going to be till January, so God knows.
Jimmy, there's a couple of tweets, only a couple handful, saying this is relegation form. This, I mean, it's not, is it? You're not that bad. You just can't score. Defensively, you are sound.
Well, yeah, I think if you look at it, we've lost 5 games and they've all been 1-0. So I'm not too worried defensively at all. We're absolutely fine. It's just going forward. I think it's been 365 minutes since we put the ball in the back of the net. You cannot go that long without scoring a goal at this level, because it will turn into relegation form, because we could lose every game 1-0, we will go down. And I think, in the Blackburn game, you could sort of see the second it went 1-0, personally for me, I was like, well, this is over, because we're not going to score now. So it's just painful to watch, really, going forward.
Who do you blame for the goal, James? The Blackburn fans can't decide who got the final touch. It looked like it might have come off a Swansea defender, but a set piece again, set piece defending. Who do you blame?
I just got to go down to the coaching. I know we've got a fantastic set piece coach in Martin Margiston, but it's our Achilles heel all the time. Every time I see a ball get swung into the box, I just feel like we're vulnerable. And it's been that way for a while, to be fair. So I would say it comes down to the coaching, really, not as much as the players. But that seems to be that soft spot with us.
It certainly does. We've had this conversation time and time again. Let's have a look at some tweets from the game. Rich Yasaran says, we dominate large parts of the game, or dominate large parts of the game is not passing the ball back between Grimes, the centre-backs, and the keeper in the first third. That probably amounts for 40% of the 67% possession we actually had. That is not dominating the game. Watch Saints Leicester for a lesson of how to play out from the back. And Alicia says, dominating doesn't mean just keeping the ball and doing nothing with it. No cutting edge. If you had been more direct and thrown men forward, we would have crumbled. Our left-hand side, particularly first half, was wide open with Catmull providing no cover for the fullback, and that's from a Blackburn fan. This was on the back of Williams saying we dominated the game. Did you?
dominated possession, yes, but like you said, they did miss home very badly. On that left hand side. So it's one of those really. But I think one player we really miss in this season is Jamie Patson. That link between the striker and midfield is just anonymous, really. Ollie Cooper's playing well in the role, but he's not playing well in the same sort of way, if you like. We need somebody different to be linking up. Jamal Lowe was there as well last year. There's two players there which completely haven't been replaced. There was, a good few goals in the team there.
We'll share this one, Hugh, and see what your view is, but it's quite strong. We'll come back on in a minute. Timon and Abdullahi should never pull on a Swansea shirt again. They were dreadful, the pair of them. And as for Luke Williams, sort it out. What's your view on what Harvey's got to say there with that pair?
I think it's harsh on the pair of them. I mean, Abdullah's constantly played out of position. As soon as I saw Bianchini was going off and Abdullah was coming on, my heart sank. I knew exactly where he was going to put him. He's just constantly out of position. He started the season well. I think the last couple of games he's probably dipped in form, but I still think he's been all right this season. But yeah, the lack of scoring is going to cost us.
Cheers, Hugh. Jimmy Healy says we are useless. 8 goals in 10 games is not acceptable. Should be doing much better against teams like that. We didn't do enough in the summer. And I think, even though you four have been saying this point now, I'm seeing more and more on social media that people are recognising the recruitment is the reason why you are where you are now. You jump on board with that, I presume?
Yeah, it's simple as Abdullah playing on the wing probably sums up everything you need to know about our transfer window, because I don't get the gimmick. He's terrible on the wing. He's a centre midfielder. But, we brought in Vipotnik. He's not ready yet. He's taking a while, and I don't know how long it's actually going to take before he scores a goal. Cullen's never been a starting striker at this level, I don't think. He's solid, but he's not enough, I think, to be starting every week for us as a consistent goal scorer. Since we lost Perot, we haven't replaced him. And it's been the same story last season as well. And I just think until we sign some better attacking players, because he said with Ollie Cooper, he's a good player, but I don't think he's that creative player who just works hard in the middle and gets stuff done. You need someone else to create the chances for our attackers, because it must be painful to be a striker in our system, because it is miserable.
Tyler Bando in the middle there, James says, why are we starting Cullen if we're trying to cross the ball? Does he have a point?
Yeah, absolutely. And it was the same last season as well. We had a 6'6" Ukrainian on the bench last season, and we were swinging cross after cross after cross into the box to 5'10" Cullen. And we're doing it here now with the pot 6 foot plus. So again, that's got to be on Williams though. Like I said, that is a Tjoe-A-On game. We have been crossing the ball to nothing for the best part of a year now. So that's clearly been coached into them. But if you're going to do that, you need a target man to swing it into. I mean, that is not Cullen's game. I mean, you barely see him win a header. So yeah, I really don't get that one.
Okay. All right, then let's put Blackburn to one side, shall we, and talk about Sheffield Wednesday and Millwall. We're recording this before the result of that Hillsborough game, but that's a tricky one, Rich, isn't it? Going to Hillsborough away.
Yeah, the return of the old player again. Jamal Lowe. We just mentioned him earlier on, so it's a case every time. It'll be, if he does get a goal against us, it'll be add fire to the kind of transfer saga that we've had. So it is a tricky one. And Millwall, I hate playing Millwall. Another one of those teams don't really have great results against, and it's always a bit of a feisty encounter. There's going to be two sides probably scrapping down the bottom end of the table, you'd think, I would have thought. So crucial to get something from these, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't so long ago, Hugh, we were talking about you being comfortably mid-table and towards the playoffs, hasn't we? But these away results need to sort themselves, don't we? What is it about you away from home that means you suddenly turn into this team that don't look like they've played with each other for weeks?
I don't know. I think we've always been like it for as long as I can remember. I don't think we've ever been particularly brilliant away from home. Even the year we got promoted and some of our best seasons in the Premier League, we weren't great away from home. I don't know what it is. We just can't seem to play properly.
Okay. All right then, Jimmy, how many points are you getting this week until I meet you again next week? 2 games, Sheffield Wednesday, Millwall.
I'd like to think at least 4, but in reality, I'm not so confident with our goal scoring. It's 2 teams that have been pretty poor defensively, so I think we might get a bit more freedom in these couple of games because we have, in all fairness, most of our losses have been against some tough teams like Blackburn top 6, West Brom top 6, Middlesbrough will be there. These aren't easy games we are losing in all fairness. It's not necessarily the most discouraging thing in the world, but I think we need at least 4 points here to just cement ourselves where we are and try and push up rather than go downwards, because if we keep going through games not scoring and not getting any points, it quickly turns into relegation form, and then we have a big problem. So I think 4 we need at least.
To make you feel better, as you might know, we do talk to all 24 teams, and the Sheffield Wednesday thread over the last month or so has been the following. Their strikers aren't scoring. Their goals are coming from Barry Bannon in the midfield. Their strikers just can't do it. Ugbo can't hit a barn door with a banjo. And when we talk to Millwall, guess what? Their current running theme is their strikers aren't scoring. Millwall, their goals have come from Watmore in the midfield. So something's going to have to give. You've got teams with a strike force that aren't going to get any goals. Good luck. Before we let you go, though, it's Halloween around the corner. I want to get your views on who was the nastiest player to put on a Swansea shirt. Who's that one player that you watched in the stands that you loved to have on your side? I'm glad weren't playing on the opposition. We'll get your views on that in a second. But international break has just finished. What were your views on the Welsh performances?
Not bad. Good job.
Yeah, definitely better than it has been the last few years, that's for sure. Finally picking up results. We'll need a big win in Turkey, I think, next month if we're going to get out back into Group A and get us a good chance at World Cup qualification playoffs. Then we'll have to beat Turkey away, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely more exciting to watch. As I said, there's still a few teething problems, specifically with defending, but it's nice to be able to enjoy watching Wales again.
It's good stuff. All right, then, back to our question. Rich.
Right. Well, I tell you what, we don't really do nasty, but I'd say as a physical presence, you can't look past Tjoe-A-On in Fenwar. What a monster. Strongest man in the Football League. He was just brilliant, wasn't he? He was just holds the ball up beautiful. And surprisingly really good with his feet as well for such a big lad. Gives hope to us all. But yeah, I used to love him. Yeah, he was great.
Good stuff. James?
So not what I actually grew up watching, but I had stories from my dad and granddad. It's Tommy Smith. They were both there at that famous game where he lofted Ozzy Ardiles about 5 foot off the floor and nearly broke his legs. So yeah, Tommy Smith is the one. And I've heard that story hundreds of times from other people as well. So I'm going to go with him.
Okay, bro. Jimmy?
I'm a bit of a modern one. I think, again, we don't really do nasty, as Rich said. I can't really think of any nasty players, but I think Chico Flores was a bit of an aggressive. You have the whole incident with the thingy, but he's a very aggressive defender. I think Chico for me will have to be that one.
Good shout. And finally, Hugh?
I struggled with this. Again, like Rich said, I couldn't really think of anyone that's particularly nasty, but I'm going to have to go with Walter Boyd purely for having the fastest red card in his 0 seconds. Just for pure comedy value.
All right. Brilliant, Shaz. If you can beat any of those, drop us a comment below. Don't forget to hit on that subscribe button before you do so as well. Right, you four. Hopefully next week we'll have some positivity back in this room and Swans will be back on the march. Hopefully. Join us next week when we are going to be reviewing the Sheffield Wednesday game and, of course, the game this weekend. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you all next week.